It's happening so fast that yes, people may not adapt fast enough.
If you make content, things are about to get dramatically different.
Things are going to be very different now.
We will have more supply of content than we've ever seen before.
You got to optimize for the different platforms out there.
32% of consumers are now using social media as their primary search engine.
Free traffic has literally gotten a lot harder, and paid ads are costing more and more.
How big is your online footprint?
How do we get visible on all these platforms? How do we be omnipresent?
I think today, if you're doing stuff, you have to do it in a cross-platform, cross-format way.
We're going to use generative AI as well. And so you're going to have to be better.
In 2025, showing up in search isn't just about your website anymore. It's about creating content that's findable everywhere your audience is looking.
Right, so there we have it. Organic traffic from absolutely everywhere. It's the only way, and the results are absolutely epic. So check this out. Boom. All right, everybody. I hope you're doing well. This is Jay Cruz. Welcome to this special session. And so all I need from you now, just a couple of quick yeses that you can see the screen. I know you can hear me. And yes, says Paul. Fantastic. Okay, so today we're going to talk about getting traffic from absolutely everywhere. Okay, this is the future. I'm very excited to share this with you for lots of reasons, which we'll get into. But this is the pre-release preview, the world's most powerful multi-channel organic traffic AI platform. And it's finally here, right? So we're talking about growing your traffic from YouTube, some Spotify, Google News, Instagram, TikTok, plus 300 other sites and channels, all with one single app, one single flow. So if you're ready to rock with that, then give me a 5 in the chat, right? Let's get some excitement going, because one thing I can guarantee you is by the end of this presentation, whether you've seen it or not, okay, it's still going to continue to sort of blow you away somewhat, and you can challenge me by the end of the presentation if it hasn't. Is that fair? All right, so Mustafa says, let's go. I can't be fairer than that. All right, so first and foremost, it's tough to argue against a marketer who's generated millions of dollars. I think this business, Russell Brunson's business, ClickFunnels, is worth over $1 billion now. Don't quote me on that, but it's definitely close. And he says you must be publishing consistently if you want to stay relevant, right? And so if the fact that this is a platform that can help every online business grow. So I'm very, very glad to see Russell Brunson agree, because he also has a business that can help every business online grow, right? So to win in 2025, and I'm going to say this a lot today, so if it's cool with you, please pay close attention, because I want to drill this in, right? If you are overwhelmed by all the AI tools, all the techniques, is that you? Or if you're tired of it, a new app coming out every week, you don't know where to start. The fact is, if you're overwhelmed by all of this stuff happening right now with AI, you're not alone, right? Because all you really want to do is grow your business and get more traffic, right? And there are thousands of tools. There's probably an AI tool that's just started right now, right? Just kicked off and just been launched. And so it's just getting crazier. And so to win in 25, we must get more done with AI. But what if you could solve your traffic problems forever? Huge statement, I know. But again, hold me to account by the end of the session, and you can thank me after this. Because what if you could do all of this with a single platform that combines multiple AI tools and workflows all baked in already into one with a 15-year playbook, right? So this is my big promise, all right? This is what we call multicasting, and it's the world's first platform I'm about to unveil that does this. Multicasting, write that down if you need to, right? We're leading the way with this. No one's ever done this before in history. Check that out. So this is one single app to get traffic from absolutely everywhere: news, video, search, social, AI answers, podcasts, and more. Expertly optimized for each algorithm individually, so you can drive free organic traffic. Overwhelm goes down, results go up, traffic goes up, exposure up. All right, we've got lots of demos, or we've got a big demo, sorry, and lots of examples coming up. So the fact is, why, how do we get to this point that we're at right now with all this excitement? I can't even get the words out. I'm so raring to go, especially after that video, right? Why? Well, the fact is this: we asked 1,000 business owners, probably a little bit more than that, just a little while ago, right? We asked them, all of our customers and our audience, we said, would you prefer to wait 6 months for our perfected new traffic technology so we can sort of, get this rolled out in the next sort of maybe 12, 18, 24 months? So, waiting 6 months minimum to see the perfected version, or would you want to get access right now? The answer, it shocked us. So it wasn't as surprising, but the level and the the amount of people that got involved with this was overwhelming. So I'm going to show you that a little bit later and show you the actual responses we got from that. People were like, are you crazy? Now, right? So I'm going to share that with you. But let me ask you this, right? What if you could create, and I really want you to think about this, if that's cool with you, right? Take a second. I invite you to really give this a thought. So what if you could create content that attracts buyers in as little as 20 minutes per day with a single AI tool? No need to log into 100 different platforms. Because the shocking discovery that we've made is that we've, like I said, this is 15 years. I wasn't joking. We've been, doing the same thing, plugging away, blasting away for over 15 years and over $10 million. Give me a one in the chat. I don't want that to fly over your head. Yeah. That's $10 million of hard-earned money that we put in, right, into this business to discover this. Because most businesses get multi-channel marketing completely wrong, despite it being the future. Because the real problem isn't what you might think it is, right? And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why the traditional approach to AI overwhelm is actually costing you thousands of dollars in hidden losses, even if you don't know about it yet. Okay? Serious thing to consider there, right? So I'm going to show you today how to get the same results as a $50,000 a month marketing team for less than the cost of a part-time VA. Fact, proven, example after example, irrefutable. And if you don't get more organic traffic and reach, you don't pay a single cent. So give me a 5 if it's well worth your time here today. At least checking this out, right? Because I want you to challenge me by the end. If I haven't ticked all these boxes, call me out. I love calling people out, and you should do, right? Especially when you're spending your hard-earned time, right, to, taking that out to be on this presentation here today. So today, if you haven't figured it out already, right, is about getting traffic from everywhere. And I'm talking about everywhere, over 300 sites, yeah? Including TikTok, Instagram, Google News, YouTube, Medium, Spotify, SlideShare, LinkedIn, Vimeo, Blogger, Flip HTML5, Calameo, you've got Bing News, Google News, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pinterest, you've got X, you've got Facebook, you've got, the biggest sites on the planet, right? And guess what? There's even more. So one platform to automatically produce content in 8 formats. How many? 8. Done. Bang. Published to 300 sites so you can grow free organic traffic and your social media following at the same time, right? So 4 reasons this is critical if it isn't obvious enough already. All right, if it's cool, so I'm gonna run through this real quick. Number 1, it's critical for traffic. Number 2, it's critical for conversions. Number 3, it's critical for ads and reputation. And number 4, it's obviously gonna be critical for gaining followers. All of the details I'll go into a little bit later, but we've got a lot to get through. So, just understand that it's critical for all four of those. Yeah? Because the real problem is this: more visibility equals more traffic equals more sales and more profit. Give me a 1 if that makes sense. Real quick, please get involved. Yeah, guys, if that's all right to ask, to get you thinking completely differently and well placed for the future, because the AI apocalypse is among us, right? It's upon us, I should say. And yeah, craziness is among us, right? And I'll talk about that. Anyway, being everywhere is overwhelming and difficult. So if you don't show up, your competition will. And if you aren't everywhere, you may as well be invisible, okay? Because less visibility equals less traffic, equals less sales, and equals less profit, which is not what we want at all. So the question becomes, well, how many different ways can you actually win? And if you've ever been involved in any of these businesses, there's just 3, there's tons more, but this is what I'm going to focus on real quick, right? So give me a 5 in the chat if you've ever tried any of these: e-commerce, local clients, your own business, to get traffic, to grow these, any of them. Yeah, could be any one of them. It's not an issue. Okay, so I'm highlighting these 3 because we've actually been transforming businesses for years with the early beta version of what I'm about to share with you today, because it's 10x more powerful in terms of what we've got. So real quick then, again, we haven't got all day. I don't want to get through as much as possible here. We've got Erin. She gets free email leads, 300, in fact, targeted leads for free using this platform, an early beta version. Connie launched a business with just 2 amps and still going strong. We've got people like Robert. He's a hardworking amplifier. He's obsessed with the 1% club. He joined it, right? His words, not ours, with the early platform. So e-commerce successful. Ultimately, we've been driving free organic traffic, reducing ad costs, increased conversions, and building trust through major site coverage already with the early beta version. And even that was better than anything else on the planet in terms of what it delivered, right? For example, $95,000 in free traffic, 51% uptick in sales for that particular month. So built up to 95 grand. Now, this is their snapshot, their information they sent through us. So their words, not ours, right? Excuse me. We've got an exercise niche here, which is high competition. Like, give me a 1 if you understand. The fitness industry, crazy amount of competition, right? That's why anyone says they're getting into the health niche, we're like, ooh, fitness, ooh, think twice because it's massively competitive. But anyway, this is an existing company. And in July, we bought in a total of 4,692 clicks with an average of 151 clicks per day. In other words, if you look at the traffic here, the trend, right? It's just going up. The clicks are going up. And we had an all-time high in August of 180 clicks per day using this platform, right? And you can see where they started. And look at the timeline, right? Stacked and boom. We've got, in this example, we took 304 people that were actually searching for competitors to our client instead. We did comparison pieces, which I can talk about later. But again, the point is we've done this across several competing brands and individual competitor products, bringing significant high intent buyer traffic. So another thing I'd like you to put in the chat, give me a 5 if you understand. Getting traffic is okay. That's still good. But getting the right type of traffic who are ready to buy and have a problem that needs to be solved. And you're, bam, there in front of them with that content. Like, that's infinitely more powerful, obviously, right? And that's the kind of traffic we're talking about, right? So this exercise niche, clicks and traffic value at 6 months, we got it up to 4,692 clicks per month. $7,000 is what they would have had to spend if they were going with AdWords, cost per click of $1.50. Times 4,692, they would be paying $7,000 for that. So it's $7,000 they didn't have to pay, and they got in free traffic just from Google alone. So please pay attention really closely to each of these. I'm not going to have time to go back, all right? And there's going to be tons of questions if that's cool with you. And it was already profitable. So this is over a 50x return on spend, and traffic keeps coming, right? Because what we talk about is return on content spend, not return on ad spend, right? Even though it sort of facilitates more return on ad spend if you're creating more content, obviously, we'll talk about that. But clicks and traffic value, this is at 15 months now. So everyone, give me a 1 if you understand. We're at 6 months here. Yeah, everyone following along? And here's the stats. At 15 months, we're talking 40,000 average clicks per month, $600,000 average monthly revenue is what they got up to. Average sales price, you're looking at $1,500 is the AOV. So that's how much they charge on average per product that they sell. And total sales revenue last 6 months are at $3.6 million, right? All within the Google console, all tracked, all laid out, right? And these guys are continuing obviously for as long as they can because they're loving this. Local business success path. So we've already helped local businesses get found by customers ready to buy at point of research. Boom, most important thing. Claim local search with hyper-targeted content and dominate the local 3-pack. People like Lynn, she says in her own words here, holy cow, I know this works. But in all honesty, I was expecting it to work. I wasn't expecting it to work that fast. Sorry. Now I have to figure out what to do next, right? She's like, wow, this is incredible. That's awesome. Jamie, UK 3-pack ranking using US distribution. So it works all over the world. We've got another example here. This is a client, which is a windows and doors installation business. So it works for any type of business, right? So, and yeah, you know, like we've already pointed out, you're looking at 50x return on investment there, which is nuts because most people are happy with 2x. Give me a 1 if you understand that, especially with ads and stuff like that, which people are like obsessed with. You know, getting a 2 to 10x is pretty unbelievable. A 50x, did you hear what I said there? Is that registering? And this is all stuff that's going to compound, long-term, building, stacking. So it doesn't go overnight. When you stop paying for ads, what happens? It goes, right? With content, it builds up. This is the beautiful thing about what we're doing. We're changing the face of how people are marketing now, right? And content out there. So this is a windows and doors installation company. A little traffic means a lot in expensive niches because, of course, they're charging a lot of money. One sale means a lot of cash. So $6,000 from just 98 clicks. I showed you 4,000 just a second ago, but just at 98 clicks, imagine where they're going to take this, right? An ROI on this page alone, this is one single page on the Google console, within their actual account. But you can see the ROI on this page alone is made over $6,000. Not bad. What about marketing agencies? We've been killing it for marketing agencies as well with the early beta version. So we've delivered huge client results. Fulfillment is done within 20 minutes, and we've enjoyed high margin and recurring revenue. People like Denka here, charging $21,000 up front. I just want to highlight that for you so you understand the level of this, and $10,500 per month, right? Just reselling what we have because of the power of the processes, the machine, everything is built. We've got people like Shiv, lives in India, right? Never done business outside of India before, right? English is a second language. Bam, closing businesses in the US and increasing the client's revenue, but also their traffic, as you can see here, by 20%, right? Which is incredible. We've got people like Yogesh. He launched his own agency and promoted within 24 hours. We've got people within the marketing professional people as marketing professionals, if you like, right? It's probably a better way to say it. So we help them with the early beta version, create $5,000 campaigns in just minutes, save weeks of time, thousands of dollars, and be the office hero. Why? Because they're responsible for blowing shit up for them, right? They're responsible for getting them everywhere, blowing up their traffic and blowing up their exposure. So people like Lacey, always appreciate your help. Jabari, very impressed. And then more and more here. So listen, give me a 5 if you understand what I've just talked about there. This is the early beta version. Fact, right? What we're about to show you now, what I'm about to show you now, takes things to a whole new level. This is like, you see the difference, right? And it's only now that we've raised the bar even further, yeah? So this is how pros used to do multi-channel marketing before. You need to, in other words, if you wanted to be everywhere, just like the Google CEO just said in that video, just like all the experts said, foremost experts in content and traffic online and websites, they're all saying the same thing. You need to be in as many platforms in as many places as you possibly can, right? And so to do that, pros had to traditionally hire multiple content creators at $5,000 per week or more, spend weeks arranging content calendars, many days scripting, producing, editing, repurposing, and then posting to each platform manually. I mean, how many can you possibly post to at the end of the day? Not that many, right? And so, look, the fact is AI was supposed to make it easier, right? It was supposed to make things easier with all these workflows and everything that was possible, right? So it was supposed to be, hey, bro, just build this simple workflow with 20 AI tools, optimize the prompts like you're an expert in every platform and medium, and just log into 7 different platforms every single day. Easy, right? It's not. And that's why there's levels to this stuff. There's levels to AI, right? So if you want an entire workflow with AI agent team automation to grow every organic traffic channel in 2025 and beyond, right? It takes a lot of work. And even though we got 1 week's worth of AI work down to 1 hour, we changed things even further, right? Because we built a single tool that does true multi-channel content and traffic. So all of this stuff, forget about it, because even I feel kind of nauseous looking at this, right? Because I'm not overly technical. And so we wanted to simplify it further. So one single tool does true multi-channel content and traffic all in 20 minutes per day with automatic true multi-channel distribution. Introducing AmpCast, where you can finally be everywhere or get left behind, because AI is changing every single day at the moment. And give me a really quick one if you understand the power of what I'm saying there. It's true. AI is actually, people thought it was a fad. Is it going to change things? Like only 6 to 12 months ago. But now, heading into 2026, do you feel it impacting your life? It's actually having an impact on a lot of people's lives on a daily basis. That's insane, right? It's here to stay. It's only going to get crazier. So if you don't do this, you'll get left behind. In other words, be everywhere or face the prospect of dying as a business or declining. So if you do unlock the power of multicasting, right? If you really capitalize on this, and businesses that have done this and are doing true, using true multi-channel marketing, see an average result of 494% boost in sales, 300% more leads, and 66% lower lead costs. So they're paying less to acquire new customers, right? What makes this different? Number one is built on 15 years multi-channel marketing experience. We know how to get traffic. We know how to do this stuff, manually, and we built it into the future with the AI. It's powered by AI, trained personally by Chris Munch. It lets even a beginner enjoy the power of multi-channel as if Chris is doing the work for you. Chris is, a bona fide genius, right? He's almost revered in some SEO circles, right? And has been for a long time. He's like a cult hero, if you like. But imagine his brain working for you. You can't touch that. That means a beginner can turn a single idea into a content empire in 20 minutes. You can generate every form of content for every platform that's actually suited for that platform. It's optimized already for the platform. Publishes to over 300 websites and social media. And then RSS tech allows for even broader distribution if you want. So the question then becomes, what is it like to be everywhere, right? What is it like? What does that feel like? Well, the fact of the matter is, the first thing I'll say, just to cut that down real quick, is let's talk about that in a second, because the hard truth we need to face first is if you don't go multi-channel, you will get left behind. Each channel multiplies your traffic. And if you're not doing this right now, every competitor is going to be, if they're not already, right? And Google CEO says himself, you have to do it in a cross-platform, cross-format way. And if the Google CEO is saying it, it's not just me. I'm just telling you what he's saying, right? And we built the damn thing based on what Google's saying. Like, what else, it's beautiful, no shortcuts. Because the hard truth is, if you don't use automation, you'll get left behind. If you don't use AI in the right way, you'll get left behind, right? So this is how we get traffic, all right? Simplified. This is the world's first multicasting platform. So what I want you to do is give me a 77 in the chat if you've read this and you've heard this and you've registered this term, because this is going to be everything. This is going to be huge, right? This is the difference right now, right? In 2025 into 26 in the future, and we are spearheading it. And you've got the opportunity to be with us shoulder to shoulder. You with me? This is unbelievable stuff. So this is the world's first multicasting platform where there's 3 steps involved, nice and simply. Number 1, we research and target, okay? So research and target the questions that people have before making a buying decision. Number 2, we then create and repurpose content to answer those questions. And finally, to actually get the content seen, boom, we distribute and we amplify. So really powerful, right? Now, before I show you this new technology is rolling out weekly, so not every feature is ready just yet. Even though this is more powerful than the early beta, it's still somewhat in beta, yeah? Somewhat. Almost there, but some features are still going to be rolled out. But this is your chance to get early access in every feature as it's released to grow with us. So I'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's just snap back to the steps here, right? So we've got step number 1, research and target. You just tell AmpCast what topic you want to cover. That's it. That's the first step, right? Any topic on the internet, right? Or that you've got in your niche. So you can start with an idea, and if you're not sure what to talk about, you can use our proprietary topic tools to generate thousands of high profit, low competition content ideas in seconds. But I just really would like you, if it's cool, I invite you to put a 5 in the chat, just so I know that you're getting this. A topic is just based on a question that people have before making a buying decision. And there's there's thousands upon thousands of underserved topics in the form of those questions, right? That people are just not answering. It's wide open. That's why we've built our 8-figure company and got to where we are, because we capitalized on that shit, right? Forget competition. Competition is for losers. Yeah, that's what we built this on. So anyway, you start with an idea, and we've got a topics pig that you can use. You can start with a URL. So just keep the fives coming in. If you've ever seen a video recently, a podcast, a website, an article, a post where you're like, holy shit, that's amazing for your niche. And you're like, I'd love to do something around that. Like, I wish I could do content like that, right? Well, take the URL, bang, put it into AmpCast as a seed, and AmpCast will automatically generate and then expertly craft an entire campaign from that source material if you wanted it to. If you've got previous material in your own business, you can put that in as well. Or lastly, if you just want to build this yourself, I know a lot of people are quite hands-on, right, and technical, and that's cool. But you're welcome to use the AmpCast Creation Wizard that expertly guides you through the whole process here of creating high-impact campaigns from scratch. So the choice is yours, but the topic is done. So one in the chat all makes sense. You've got the topic. If you don't have a topic, you can use our topics generator, bang, to find out where the demand is, what people are actually looking for, what questions they have. Nail down the topics, and you've got them. You can generate thousands in minutes. No excuse. So you've got your topic. Everyone cool? Yeah? You ready with that? So once you've put your topic in, step 2 is then creating and repurposing content to answer those questions, right? And transform your topic into rich media content in just minutes. And by the way, I'm talking videos, podcasts, reels and shorts, articles, blog posts, flipbook, infographic, and social posts as well. So we're talking, and this isn't just basic stuff, guys. This is all, purpose-built content, right? It's already pre-purposed, if you like, for each and every platform and medium. It's unbelievable. It's already done. So for example, you get informative long-form videos, answering those questions, covering those topics, AI interview style podcasts, beautiful infographics and flipbooks, entertaining shorts and reels. We're going to show you a demo of all this. Don't worry. All right, rest assured, that's coming. Expert authority, news articles. You've got social posts on every platform, and you've got longer, rich, beautiful media blog posts written in an expert way, all right, which you can't touch. So you can grow your content empire with high quality long form videos. Give me a 1 if you see the value of long form videos, if you consumed a long form video recently. Well, now you can create one on a beautiful topic instantly. Grow your content empire with interview style podcast episodes. Anyone listen to a podcast here? Give me a 2. And I want all the audience, I want you guys to look at each other's answers. Yeah, this is important stuff. Yeah, we're all peers here. So it's about learning from each other and understanding the opportunity here, right? Exactly. We've all either listen to a podcast or you know the value of the information in podcast, right? Well, now you can create one that's interview style. Beautiful. You've got snappy videos and reels and shorts. You've got authority news articles, right? You've got expert LinkedIn blog posts. Look at this as an example, directly onto LinkedIn. So all of the stuff that you see on LinkedIn where you're like, wow, that's a great piece of content, you can now create it instantly from just that input of topic, right? Beautiful infographics, right, which you can get out there, engaging ebooks and flipbooks, all automatically generated, all one platform, one flow, one login, right? Extended Twitter and X threads and social media posts. You can see an example here. Beautiful, right? All distributed for you. And then step 3. So just real quick then, guys, we've done the topic. Give me a 1, just a couple of ones. We want to flow through this quite quick. You got the topic, any topic you want. You've now repurposed in every conceivable format, 8 of them, the biggest ones. And they're ready to be posted, right? You can look, that's built for X. This is built for flipbooks, right? This is built for infographics. This is built for LinkedIn and for blog post sites. This is built for news sites. This is built for YouTube, built for shorts. It's already done for you. So what's the last step then? Is going to be actually getting that content seen, right? And just, by the way, distribution alone is a ball ache. It's very difficult, right? It's a pain in the butt to get distribution out there. And we've got that covered too. Because people pay $200, $300, $400, $500 just to get the content out there on one piece. We're doing the whole thing with the topic selection. So automatically publishing to over 300 sites and social platforms, collectively tapping into a potential 100 billion monthly visitors. And so you can distribute and amplify. Look at the screen, guys. This is now where we've pushed this to, right? So you can get content. Just want to make sure my phone's on silent. Absolutely everywhere in every format. Look how beautiful that looks. All in one. And I want you to put a 1 in the chat for one app, one platform, one login, right? 0 overwhelm. Okay? So one app for all these traffic sources and endless content. So you can have greater online reputation as well, because you can enjoy more engagement with great content showing everywhere your audience looks, as well as cropping up in the AI overview. Give me, who was it that asked me about the LLM seeding, right? Who put that in the chat? Like, give me a 5 if you're interested in LLM seeding or you've heard of that, or feeding the AI or whatever you might call it. Covered to a point where we didn't even mean to almost, right? We knew it would have an impact, but we're just doing the right type of content and posting in the right way, in the right formats. And guess what happens? Because you're everywhere. Where does AI take on the information from when answering a question? Everywhere. But if you're constantly everywhere all the time and you're just stacking that shit up, what's going to happen? The AI sees you as the expert and will draw from you, and bam, you're in the overview. And we're landing these overviews for fun at the moment, right? Why? Not because we're trying to game the system, because we're just doing shit the right way. Just like our parents told us, eat your greens, right? Do content in the right way. And guess what? It's all come full circle, which is what I love about this. No shortcuts, no BS, just doing proper content in the right way. And we've managed to do it all in one platform. You can improve paid ad conversions, of course, because you're intercepting the 82% of people who research content before buying from an ad. Because if, I don't know about you, I don't buy straight from an ad. Like, give me a 5 quick registers. You don't buy straight from an ad. I don't. And we're business owners. We're skeptical, right? We're the biggest skeptical people on the planet. What does that mean? When I see an ad, I'm going to go straight to Google and research. And guess what happens? Whether it's AI or all over, or if I go on YouTube or I go on Facebook, guess where you are? Bam, you've got it covered, which means it adds to the authority and people buy, right? You can get verified on social platforms, hyper engaging X Twitter threads as well. So it's not just one post. You actually, it's almost, it's almost episodic, right? So you've got like a whole thread that posts on X, which continues the story, as you've probably seen on X. And you can launch your own niche expert podcast. You can grow your social media empire on every single channel, right? Instagram, TikTok, you know, all of these guys. And finally, for those of you who are a little bit more technically minded, right? You can have advanced distribution for power users using RSS feeds and automatically grow your YouTube channel as well. Give me a 1 if you've been told, hey, you should have a YouTube channel. Well, now you can have one. And guess what? You can have 30 posts out in a month if you wanted to. 1 a day, boom, why not? Because you can do it now, right? Rapid traffic growth with shorts and reels. So while you're growing a YouTube channel, you can grow your shorts as well, right? And you can get seen on Google and other search engines as well. So no matter where people search, if you're everywhere, guess what happens? You get seen, right? Consistently. And you can finally advertise in ChatGPT and other AI platforms for free. So this is the beautiful thing. It's not a shortcut. Hey, I'll get you in the AI. Screw that. Why not just do good content and that will get in the AI automatically? And that's exactly what we do, because you're providing good quality content and increasing your engagement with your audience. So you can make announcements about your business when people, you know, and this is another thing. Like, give me a 5 in the chat if you understand this concept. If you're launching a business of your own, or anybody's launching a business anywhere, what's the first thing someone's going to do? Because everyone's so obsessed with marketing, right? They do tons and tons of marketing, billboards, this, that. Well, if you see a billboard and you've never heard of that company, what are you going to do? Are you going to buy? You're going to ring them straight away, hey, take my money? Hell no. I'm going to be like, that looks interesting. And I might say to my wife, oh, well, you know, I'm driving. Can you Google that business for me? What do you see? Exactly. Boom. Or can you check AI? Or can you check YouTube? Covered, right? And that's the beautiful thing. So anyway, if you want to put in the chat, how will you use AmpCast? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to try and blow through this really quickly. I've got a time limit target from Chris. Let's see if I can hit that. Might be a little bit behind. We'll see. Because we've got so much to get through, right? I don't want to miss any of this, guys. But what will you use AmpCast for? Local business, absolutely fine. Give me a 1 if you understand. Why? Local businesses, no problem. They're paying 1, 2, 5 grand a month right now to businesses, as well as us on our managed service side, to do this for them on the local side, because it's easy. Distressed house seller leads, absolutely, 100%. What are they going to do? They're desperate. They need the word out. People Google them. You've got Promote LLM Seeding Agency, 150%. This is probably the funny thing is we don't even, like, I can't tell you how beautiful this is, right? Because it's not gaming anything. It's just doing shit properly and it feeds the AI. How funny, right? It's almost like, you know, if you don't try and be honorable because it's not on your brain, you're just an honorable person, you get respect. You don't chase the respect. You don't need to. You just do shit properly and guess what happens, right? Whereas those people are desperate for respect, guess what they get? Zero respect. It's almost like the same thing, right? Just do shit properly. To serve contractors, business deals, absolutely. So what are these people typing into Google, right? In the form of topics. What questions do they have? There's thousands. You could be covering every single one of them. 8 formats, 300 sites. Different topic, 8 formats, 300 sites. You know, it's no wonder why people are blowing up with this. And again, it's not even gaming. That's what I love about this, right? Anyway, thank you guys. Before I get too excited here, because this is, but just give me a couple more. Like, what would you use this for? So health supplement e-commerce. It's one of the best industries for content marketing or any, you know, it's just, there's a lot of money in health. and for e-commerce as well. You know why? For example, someone might type into Google, what's the best dose of NAD plus to take for, what's the best dose, or what's the best, the highest strength you can get, or does NAD plus help with sleep, right? What's the best supplement to take for sleep? Should you take magnesium glycinate or should you take magnesium L-threonate, right? These are all questions. Guess what? Bam! Into AmpCast everywhere. And that's exactly what we're actually doing. I'm not just talking about it. We're actually doing this. We've got e-commerce businesses paying us 12 grand a month or more on the managed service side, so we can actually cover this for them because it works so well. Find the topics, answer the questions, 8 formats, 300 sites, right? Cool. So we'll get back to a few of these guys towards the end, but I need to rush through this. If you're wondering if you really need AmpCast, by the way, and can you just do this yourself? Hopefully you know this already and you've tried it, but no. You're going to need a video script. That's $285 just for a script. Lots of people are paying Rachel for it. You then need to get the video produced, $650. You're looking at 229 reviews. $45 for the video editing, right? Because the editing has to be on point to make it engaging. 568 reviews. So give me a 5 if you understand. People are actively, this is like taken as a screenshot just the other day. People are actively paying desperately for people to produce all this type of content for them. That's why there's 568 reviews here. And that's just the people that reviewed. Huge demand. Zach Rippey here. You then need a podcast script, right? If you want to create a podcast, you need the script first, $225, and also 7-day delivery, right? Who's to say you're going to get it right first time? You're not going to be happy with that. Next, you need podcast actors. Like, give me a 5 if you want to be quietly behind the scenes. You don't want to be in front of people's faces on camera like this with a mic. And you might not want to be. And even if you do want to be, I can tell you you'll burn out, right? Well, at the end of the day, that's why people use podcast actors. 2,473 reviews at $110. And that's just the people that reviewed. Huge demand for podcast actors, right? You need a podcast edited. That's another 2-day delivery for $40 because they need to sound crystal clear, right? You need news articles written. That's another $100. Then you've got a blog post. So these are all the different types of content we're talking about. True multi-channel. This is what you have to do, right? A blog post costs you $75 from Nukba. You need an infographic design then. That's another type of content, $165. You then need flip books and ebooks. That could be $350, $125. Lots of 3-day delivery, unlimited revisions. That's if, people like Anas here or Josh don't get sick or get married or have a kid, right? Then it's longer. You've got social media posts. People happily pay for social media posts, $60 a post. And of course, then you need distribution. Right? Give me a 1 if this feels like a lot of work. And guess what? This is people doing it fast. This is people outsourcing. Yeah? Oh, I'll outsource it. Oh, you're going to outsource it to all these people? That's fine. But you're looking at a hell of a lot of time, and you haven't even talked about distribution yet, because we're talking about, actually getting that content seen on the biggest sites. Yes, you create the content. That's what all this does. But you need to get this published now, right? I know. It's a lot of work. $200, $350, whatever it might be. Luckily for you, I've totaled this up. Don't worry, you don't need to do any mental maths. You're looking at, irrefutably, this is just fact from what people are charging out there, and we've been conservative, $3,000 and 2 weeks worth of work to outsource. So what used to take, I'll get to that in a second, but you do the math here, it's nuts, right? Plus the distribution to over 300 websites and social platforms, that's another $580 and 6 days, right? Plus all of this. It's just a lot of work. And very, very overwhelming. So can you outsource all of this? Give me a 5 if you agree, not in 2025, if you want to move quick, while people are smashing you out the park with AI for fun, right? Of course. You're welcome to, but that's the minimum amount of time, not to even mention the stress. So what about other AI tools? Well, like I always say this to people. I'm like, be my guest. And the funny thing is people, that pay us on the managed service side we have a minimum amount and, we charge quite a lot for it. But, we take this on for people to fix their organic for them. And guess what happens? Some of them say this. Some of them like, oh, well, I might be able to do this myself. 2 months later, they come back hat in hand saying, fuck, man, I can't do it. Can you just take care of it? Right? Because it's too much. So which AI tools are you going to pick out of the 20, 30,000 that are out there right now? Which are the best? Are you going to learn to use all of them? Are you going to train them? Because remember, every AI in its basic form is highly intelligent, almost, like a highly intelligent employee. So it takes managing. And then let's say you master one video creation and editing software. Great. Tomorrow another one comes out. Which one are you going to stick? You're going to twist? Too much to think about, right? So the question becomes then, when is AmpCast available? Well, it's not available to the public right now. It's invite only as a waitlist. And like I said, we held a vote to, this is a real story. Chris and I did this. We asked our audience, would you like us to wait until the final product is finished and release it a little bit later? Or should we just run like a Kickstarter thing? A lot of software companies do this because you want to get your users up quickly, because then you can fix your bugs and stuff and get, go to market way faster, right? And so we said, look, let's do that as an option, and then we can get this developed into your hands sooner. Which one would you prefer? And the response was overwhelming. This is what I meant earlier, right? Look at this. Look at the screen. So we had to oblige, right? We got, this is huge, disruptor, amazing. Like, please look at all the comments. It was crazy, right? This is when we first announced this and asked if we should get this out now or not. And people were just like, look, I don't care. You can drip feed the features. We're happy. Just please put it in my hands faster. And so, yeah, a lot of a lot of craziness there. So, Chris, I hope you're happy with how fast I did that. You can let me know later, because we're always competing to see if we can get through presentation super fast. Ow! And I've just smashed my elbow against my desk, which doesn't help with speed. But anyway, guys, what do you think? Are you ready to take a look? Just give me a 5 in the chat. If you're excited, you want to check this out, you want to see a demo, you want to see what it looks like on the inside, we're going to lift the hood for you. If I get enough 5s, then I'll hand it over to Chris to take you through this with a very, very quick demo. Lots of 5s coming through. All right. Excellent. All right. Well, in that case, I think we're good. So here we go.
So I'm going to take you through examples really, really quick. I'm going to go very, very fast because this does a lot of stuff. Okay. So it's a huge amount of stuff that this does. I'm going to go so fast because to show you everything, right? We could be here for a long time, but to actually create this content, to create the news article right here, to create the blog post, which you see right here. This is all written by AI, okay? Unedited, okay? To create the podcast, okay? And you can see the script here, and you can review and you can listen to the podcast. We'll have a look at some in a moment. To create the slideshow, okay? Which is again automatically created. To create the infographic, which is also automatically created. And then to create the videos, okay? The video short, which you see right here, and the landscape video, okay? So the longer video, which you see right here. To create all of this content, how long does it take? Because the AI creates everything, okay? Have a guess, type in the chat how long you think it takes to go through all of this stuff, create everything, and to get to this point, okay? I just did this with my team today. Okay, Maria's made a good guess, okay, in the chat at 30 minutes. This takes 20 minutes. Remember, to make just a YouTube short with AI will take you about 20 minutes to put all the videos together, right? To go to all the different models, to write the script and go put it all in. And it's just so effortless just to edit this, okay? You literally just click on the screen, you click replace, and then you can go search media library. You can create content with AI and just replace it in literally seconds. And because it's all written out like this, the voiceover, everything just gets edited automatically. So it's so fast. It's so incredibly, incredibly fast here, right? And then it's got like the podcast. So we could listen to this for just a second just to get a taste here, right?
Showed a 19% revenue jump to $760.9 million, which really validates their AI first strategy.
That's pretty impressive growth. What's really catching my attention is this projection about their free cash flow potentially hitting $1.9 billion.
All right, so there you go. So a podcast, having a conversation, and right here, a full length 5-minute informational video, also out of the bag, unedited. You might see some watermarks here, but they disappear when you finalize the video, okay? So we'll just listen to just the first like 10, 15 seconds of this, and you'll see how it hooks the user in. The scripting is professional. This is what can't be beaten, is the expertise behind this. It's not like what you get with ChatGPT. It's at another level. This is so, so powerful. Just listen to the scripting in this of how it hooks someone in.
HubSpot is a major player in the CRM space, but what does its financial future actually hold? Analysts project its free cash flow could hit $1.9 billion by 2029, a nearly 4-fold increase. This isn't just a hopeful forecast, it's a calculated move to...
All right. And so again, the video made in seconds. If there's anything you want to change, you can just quickly go in here and edit it. You see another one right here. This is for a UAV coaching program with the blog post made, right? Again, the podcast, the slideshow, the infographic, and the video. Okay. So this would be for a a company that sells commercial drone training here, okay? Right, and again, you've got the entire video put together automatically, all right? And so, there's just all sorts of stuff. All you literally do is you come in here, you create the AMP, you choose, the company that you set up in the system, okay? You hit generate an AMP, okay? And you're literally just filling in. These are the details you fill in. It just asks for a headline, a link, and then you can put in some source information, right? So you've got the link you want to promote and then just some source information to give it some info, right? And some research, okay, that it can use to write about the whole thing. And then it's going to create all of these different pieces of content for you. And that's why it's done so quickly. And this is what I mean, right? People think that they can go out and they can go do this themselves. Like, no, you cannot. It's going to take you days to put all of this stuff together if you go out and use AI, and it's not going to be good, right? Okay. And so literally the content here, right, that we publish and that we put out, it ranks in Google. Okay. It shows up in Google because it's written, designed to feed the algorithm. Okay. It's just incredibly powerful. It posts on LinkedIn for you. Okay. It creates podcasts. It creates your own podcast, which it puts out there. Okay. All of across the internet, right, that you can listen to. Okay. And so this one, for example, is on cryopreserved stem cell banking to prevent hair loss. If you are a med spa, right, this is the type of content, right, which your audience could listen to, and it builds the trust and drives buyers. It posts across X and social media and creates these threads. This is an example that could be promoting an affiliate product. It includes the videos, it includes the pictures, and all of these different things. Here's another example for a doctor who's launching a book. Okay, here's the example here for a mobile home crew in Florida, where their very precise video about moving mobile homes in Florida and the laws got 1,000 views on a channel, right, that's literally got 7 subscribers, and their next highest video, I think, has like about 50 views. Okay, the scripting in this is really effective. Okay, and this is why this stuff works. And so like here, we'll just listen to
Thinking of moving your mobile home in Florida? Watch out. These 3 mistakes can stop your move before it even starts. Mistake 1. Trying to move a home built before June 15, 1976. Florida law bans transport of pre-HUD mobile homes. No exceptions. Mistake 2. Skipping.
All right, and so this is super valuable information for people looking to do this and in this industry and in the target audience of this business. Okay, and you can even create entertaining content. Okay.
How to get your cat to obey you. Simple. Just stare them directly in the eyes for 6 hours, then walk them on a leash while asserting dominance. Works every time, 2% of the time. But if your cat still won't obey, then make your cat jealous by petting a dog. Once they see you with another pet, they'll do anything for attention. Cat won't listen to your instructions? Try speaking to them in different accents. My cat only responds to polite British commands, and you must say please. Cat still being an asshole? Replace all their toys with tiny business clothing and office supplies. Can't misbehave if they're dressed professionally. It's basic cat psychology. Finally, if nothing works, just accept that you're now their employee. I've been on probation since 2019, and my kitty performance review is next week. Something about more fit.
Right. Here's for an e-com product. Okay. So for aloe vera cream, just to give you an idea of what you can do with this as well.
The burn means it's working. In the 2000s, skincare was basically burning your face with several products. Girl, please. Skincare shouldn't feel like torture, and you definitely shouldn't be that red after it. And while we've come a long way, some products still use harmful ingredients like hydroquinone. Think rashes, permanent skin discoloration, and more. So next time you grab a new skincare product, check the label and make sure it's hydroquinone free.
All right, just give me a 1 in the chat here if you can see like how powerful this content is, this niche content for specific audiences, right? If you're into makeup and and skincare and you realize there's a dangerous chemical in there, that's something that stops and grabs your attention. Okay, and so this is what you can make inside the platform. It's incredibly powerful, and the technology gets better and better all of the time. Like, so here's an example of one, just got 700 views. Okay, this wasn't even posted on a focused channel. It shouldn't get any views. Okay, it just went out to all like our kind of like mass channel because they hadn't connected their own social channels yet. If they connected their own social channels, this would have done much better, right? But just check out, here, just a little video of 5 things you didn't know about electric guitars.
The first electric guitar, made in 1931, was called the frying pan because of its round, flat shape. Jimi Hendrix flipped right-handed guitars and restrung them to play left-handed.
All right, so you get the idea here. These are just quick videos, right, which grab attention. And you've got, all sorts of different types of content, right? The blog post, the news article, the slideshow, the infographic, the video, all the social media posts and stuff that go out along with this. And this absolutely crushes it as well with Google traffic, right? So look at how this particular e-com business here just absolutely exploded their traffic here, okay? And it's a seasonal business, so it peaks right at the end of the year, then it dips back down. They're trending here to as well in the next year to again break records. Again, I think they're close to maybe potentially doubling their traffic again, okay? And literally on a 12-month period, this added 1.6 million in sales for them. Okay, so 1.6 million in sales that is adding. The the return on spend for this business, okay, is like in the 40x to 50x. If you do paid ads, you're lucky to get like a 1.1x return. This is like a 20, 30, 40, 50x return. It's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. Okay, and check this out. Okay, because this stuff is built so well and put together so well, this is the type of thing that can happen. So there's this business here, Little People's Cove. Okay, they took the blog content, they posted it on their website. Okay, this is the blog content from AmpiFire. Okay, here posted on their site. Okay, great, useful content. And they sell kids equipment to businesses, or kids toys and play equipment to businesses. Okay, that's their little business. And so they've done here on creating a pediatric waiting room and making sure that it's ADA compliant, because that's one of the things that they have to do. They're ranking #1 in Google AI overviews. Okay, so all the information here, a lot of it's pulling from their website. They have the #1 result for video with the 6-minute video. Okay, they then have the YouTube short showing up as well. And then one of their other videos here showing up as well. And then they've got their blog post showing up. They literally own the top of the results. This is why this content is so powerful and so effective. All right. And, this is 504 times faster than doing it manually. And if you're trying to piece together all of these other tools and stuff to do this, it still takes forever to create all of this different content and get it out across the internet, right? So this is just so incredibly powerful and so much faster. And everybody knows it's a volume game when it comes to content, right? How many questions in any industry do people have about products? How much research do they do online? How many places do you need to show up across social media, in Google, with video and everything else? And this is exactly what AmpCast does. It's absolutely crazy that it will create all of this content for you. The PDF, the flipbook, the infographics, social post, articles, podcasts, the video reels, the long videos, the blog posts, and then you can optionally then publish it to hundreds of sites, and you can make as much content as you want. It's completely unlimited right now. It's not going to be that way forever, but during kind of like our underground launch where we're inviting people in, we're giving you completely unlimited content. You can create 100 pieces a day if you want to, okay, and download that and do that whatever you want. And you can also optionally then advertise all across the internet on news and blogs, document sharing sites, image sites, right, all at a push of a button, okay, and you're growing your organic search, you're growing, right, your authority. People do research on your business, you look better, you're getting better ad performance, increasing your sales, growing the social following, showing up in AI answers like I showed you, YouTube subscriber growth, all of this stuff, right? And just essentially getting traffic from social, video, AI answers, search traffic, and everything else. And, just the amount of results that we get, okay, is like absolutely insane, okay? And so, people showing up in Bing AI answers, right? Jay showed you himself showing up in like ChatGPT and Perplexity, right? For being Alexander the Great, okay? Showing up for different product names, okay? Showing up, right, in social media here. Like we did a post, we published it to our blog, we advertised it with AmpCast. This is all AI generated, average social media cost per lead, okay? Pretty much any search you do about social media cost per lead in 2025 was showing up on the front page of Google, right? So here's another one. Even the LinkedIn post that we did is showing up, all right? This is just absolutely crazy. Showing up here for a business being recommended in Google AI mode, right? This, like, businesses love this, and we just get so many great stories and testimonials from people about how this stuff works so well. All right, so that's my rapid demo here okay, of how and all of the results and how the whole thing works. All right. But it's just so, so powerful. All right. So I'm going to hand it back to Jay, but give me a 5 in the chat if you see how fast you can create content that's incredibly effective to grow a business. Okay. Just jump in the platform, use it every day. Okay. And it's transformational for businesses. All right. So Jay, handing it back over.
Okay, yes, thank you so much, Chris. That was amazing. Guys, give me a 77. I love those two numbers. If you found that demo to be incredible, genuinely, and you can see why this is so damn powerful. There's nothing like this on the planet. Keep the 77s coming in. And like I said at the beginning of the session, this is legitimately going to change the way people are marketing their business and getting traffic online, right? It's AI, it's everything combined with the new, the innovations when it comes to creating content in the right way for the user in mind with AI, volume, boom, everything, right? Okay, lots of 5s coming through. Amazing. Okay, so look, this is so important as you need to be absolutely everywhere. There is no choice. Be everywhere or get left behind, like I said, right? So Google is the king of buyer traffic. All the buyers are on Google mainly, right? Doing their research, checking things out, but it counts for 27%, which is crazy. And by going multi-channel, you get not only more Google traffic, right? But you open up another 73% potentially. I mean, that's crazy. And with AmpCast now, it's 144 times faster than even ChatGPT. It's optimized for each and every platform already. So that you can then, it's optimized for search, for social, for video, for AI traffic, podcasts, and a hell of a lot more. I mean, it's just crazy. So can you now see why AmpCast is your unfair advantage? Can you see that? Do you see that, right? To get traffic and sales. So just give me a quick 5 in the chat if you not only see this as an unfair advantage, it's crazy how unfair it really is, but if you want to skip the waitlist to get access to AmpCast, because that's what this today's been all about, right? So if you want to see how you can skip the waitlist and join the pre-release today, super exclusive, then give me a quick 5 in the chat if that's cool. All right, who wants in? Who wants to jump in on this right now? You want to skip the wait list? Perfect. All right, lots and lots of 5s coming through. So we have spots available. First come, first served. Features are still rolling out, which is why this is going to be so inexpensive for you. And you get a founding backers massive discount, as I mentioned at the beginning. We want the usership to go up so we can refine the product and get this out as soon as possible. And this allows us to fine tune the user experience. It allows us to fix bugs without any overwhelm. And it keeps things under wraps until we go mainstream. And so based on the public pricing of one single AmpCast campaign, the 36 AMP Founders Pack will be valued at $17,820 in AmpCast campaigns alone, okay? And considering a single AmpCast campaign, just one, saves over $3,000. Fact, it's irrefutable. I went through the maths with you. We broke that down together, right? If you were to spend this on an outsourced marketing team, maybe even more, but you can see why this would be a steal. If someone said $20,000 for 36 campaigns of topic, 8 formats and publication and 300 sites, that's unbelievable, right? Topic, 8 formats, 300 sites, 36 times over, people would bite your hand off, right? That's what we say in the UK. It would be like, wow, there'd be a mad grab for that 20 grand. Easy, right? In terms of what you're getting for the platform and everything. But you're not going to pay $17,820 today. You're not even going to pay $9,997 today, because today you can get the AmpCast Founders Pack at only $4,997, right? And that gives you 36 individual topic, 8 pre-optimized formats of content repurposed, and 300 sites. 36 times. That's unbelievable, right? And so smaller packages are also available. We do have limited availability per tier, which I'll go into in a second. But this is just one. And yes, like I said, there are smaller packages, just to be super clear, okay? So my big promise, as I said at the beginning, was to get, with this, if you jump in and you don't see a rise in your traffic after following the training, obviously, and using all your AmpCast campaigns in 60 days, will return your backer investment 100%. So I'm not going to dwell on this too much. We've been at this for far too long. We're way too old to talk about refunds and stuff like that. I just wouldn't jump in, because all you're doing is creating more content, which is going to stay. And if you create more content, you do an AmpCast campaign today, you're going to have way more content, 8 formats, 300 sites than you did yesterday, right? You did more of those, you'll have more content. Simple as that, right? So please understand what you're jumping into. And if you see the power of this, which you should, then we're going to be on the same page, all right? And we're going to be good to rock. So the link is at the bottom of your screen. It's also in your chat box right now. Okay, so So yeah, look, at the end of the day, right, you could ignore this, of course. You can stick with AmpiFire. It's great, but way less powerful. Everything's transitioning over to AmpCast now. Anyway, this is the future. You can try another tool. Nothing comes close. And you can pay a much higher price later. But why? Give me a 1 if any of you use Uber really quickly before I move on to the next slide, if that's cool. Is that all right to ask? Anybody here use Uber? Have you heard of Uber? Do you understand the Uber model? Right? No. Have you heard of Uber? Yeah? That's all I need. If you've heard of Uber or you use Uber, give me a 1. The point is, when Uber first launched, their prices were really low because they wanted to get their users up, improve the product, get some feedback in, and now obviously the prices have rised. It's the same for any business, and software is exactly the same, right? You'll see prices go up because right now we want users up, and we're willing to invest in that, which means we can cut the prices down, right? But the prices will 150 million% go up. There's no doubt about that, just like we did with AmpiFire, and we're planning to do when we go full launch publicly, which is coming, right? And yes, you could try doing this yourself. I mean, this is almost embarrassing to talk about as a slide. Obviously, 8-figure company, like everything we built, it's like you're looking at $1 million minimum to build this yourself, just to be clear. Outsource costs, you're looking at $3,000 per campaign. If you wanted to outsource, if you wanted to combine other tools and distributions, you're looking at $1,000 a month for more work and worse results, okay? And now we're using a standard estimate of, let's say, $100 per hour of your time here, but you're looking at saving months and 6 figures for bigger results, right? With the time to produce just one single AMP, one topic, 8 formats, 300 sites, you're looking at, normally it would take you 14 days, right? And I showed you all that, and I showed you the examples of that. Like this is actual, data from what people are paying other people to do on Fiverr and all these freelance sites. Labor costs $3,000, just over. With AmpCast, you can get that down to 20 minutes, fact, and $33. Fact. This isn't random numbers, this is actual fact. So you're saving $3,000 and almost 2 weeks on one campaign. Yeah? If you did 36 campaigns and we extrapolate this out, yeah? Check this out. 504 days, almost a year and a half you're looking at, down to 12 hours, and 6 figures down to $1,188 for the 36 AMP Founders Pack, which is insane, right? And that's savings of 6 figures, but more importantly, almost a year and a half is what you're looking at in savings. This is nuts, right? What this can do. And as I said before, remember, this is transforming businesses. We've already done this in our early beta. We were killing it already, but this is 10x more powerful. But with our early beta, 300 targeted leads for free with amps. Early beta launched businesses with just 2 amps and still going strong for Connie. Yogesh, with our early beta, launched his own agency and promoted within 24 hours. E-com sales were blowing up to $95,000 in a single month. We built up to that for this e-com store. And that's in free traffic. If they were paying for that traffic, again, you can imagine the cost, right? And margins, but 51% uptick in sales. We've got people like Jamie, based in the UK, using US distribution. Just the distribution side is powerful, right? And it's killing it. People like Shiv, based in India, is a second language as English. And he's closing clients and getting 20% increase in traffic in the States. Never been to the States, didn't have to travel there. Just bang, showed value, right? With an early beta version of what we're doing here. And boom. People like Denka closing big deals, reselling our platform. And the campaigns, right? $21,000, $10,500 per month. You got people like Robert joining the 1% club, followed our advice and joined the 1%. So please act fast. Time is limited. We've got, just a few spots that we're going to be opening up today, but the offer is going to close as soon as spots are filled or when the training begins. All right. Just want to be super clear if that's okay with you guys. And then we will just be focused on moving forward and getting everybody trained up and getting to our target of getting this launched publicly. But you will not have the public price. The public price is going to be ridiculously high, as you can imagine. But this is your opportunity to work with us, to shoulder, be part of our community as a founding backer, okay? And just really enjoy the content, because remember, you can create as much content as you want. Give me please pause for a second. Give me a 1 in the chat if you understood that. And I'll go into it in a second. You can create unlimited content. Like Chris showed you, blog, article, podcast. You've got the infographics and you've got the videos. You can just create that campaign after putting in your topic and generating the content and downloading and reusing. It's only when you hit publish will you lose one of your credits of the 36 or a smaller package. Give me a 1 if that makes sense, yeah? Is that okay to put in the chat for me? Okay, perfect. So you get it. This is crazy. Even ChatGPT starts charging you after a while, right? It's like it's not unlimited. This is unlimited right now. It's not always going to be like this because, of course, we're going to, we'll be looking to lose money in the long run. But when we up our prices and we go public, then everything's going to start to change. But you won't have to worry about that because you're getting it now, which is why we're opening this up. So get more reach and organic traffic or you don't pay. So if you don't see a rise in your traffic after following the training and using the AmpCast campaigns in 60 days, we'll return your investment 100%. So there's no risk on your part. You either grow or we refund you, right? So here's what to do next. The link is on your screen. It's also in your chat box. Just click on that link, secure your founding backer special. If this is for you, of course. And if it's not, then absolutely cool. Like I said before, it's not going to be for everybody for whatever reason. Maybe timing's off or it's an issue with investment. I don't know, right? And it's absolutely cool. I totally get that. And so if that's you, that's fine. Hopefully you took something away today and you learned the whole idea of multicasting is the future. It's irrefutable. It's not like, oh, it might be. No, it's already happening. And we're at the forefront, at the epicenter of this business, right? Of this world. And we're telling you that. So please lean in on that however you need to. If you are interested, fantastic. Really good to have you on board. The link is on your screen. After payment, you'll be redirected to the confirmation page. We do have smaller packages as well. Obviously, if you have the means, I'd go for the biggest one. Why? Because you'll save cash. Like this has happened to us so many times where people, they come back to us and say, oh, well, you had this offer on before. I'm like, yeah, it's called an offer for a reason, right? You're not going to go on Black Friday, go into Apple and expect the same prices in January or February, right? You can't say, oh, the Mac was on sale 2-3 months ago. Yeah, it's called an offer, right? So please take advantage if you're in a position to do so. And you'll receive your login credentials via email so you can get started. And so I don't know if Chris is available to go through the timeline today. He might not be. I know he's very, very busy answering your questions.
I am.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah. Good. All right. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting presentation here with everything that this platform does. And I want to reiterate that this is a world's first. So this is the first multicasting platform that puts you everywhere across the internet, right? And so you can see some of the things which we've built out this year, such as posting to your own social channels, YouTube Shorts creation. Okay, and these are very engaging shorts as well. It comes up with really, really good ideas, right? It's got a lot of research tools built in for topics. Okay, it's not even mentioned on here. We're launching those, or we've launched 4 of those so far to help you find topics and essentially things which are going to drive you traffic. We've got the interview style conversational podcasts. They sound very, very real and it's just getting better all the time. You've got the Twitter X threads and distribution that we built in. And next slide, Jay, you've also got just all of this stuff, right? We've added trust badges, Facebook distribution, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and this is on top of hundreds of sites that we already published to. All right. And so it's building out infographics, slideshows, videos, video shorts, just so much stuff like the conversational podcast. All of this is already built in here. And this is only going to get better, right? And so this is just what we've built so far. But we have more exciting stuff coming if you want to show the next slide here, Jay. So just recently, we've added AI image creation, actually launching your own podcast channel so you can have your own Spotify channel. We introduced longer videos, so you have a video reel, but you also have a video short. You've got AI generated scripts, you've got news article creation, all right, which we simplified the process. Okay, and coming up as well is you're going to have avatars in the videos. This is like an AI avatar that's essentially showing up on screen, okay, as part of the video, right? So a mix between different scenes and then the presenter as well as an option. We've got a new AMP wizard creation. So you saw what we produced before. It takes about 20 minutes. It takes me about 20 minutes. Well, I can do them in about 10, but realistically about 20 minutes. If you're a bit slow, maybe 30 or 40 minutes to create content in every single format, okay? But a lot of that time is kind of like waiting around while, the wheel is spinning, right? And the AI is creating stuff. We are introducing a faster workflow, okay? And it's going to bring down the creation of all of this stuff into 5 minutes, It's literally unbelievable. Can you imagine this like 3 years ago, where someone would say to you, is like, hey, I'm going to build you an infographic, a slideshow, a 30-second video, a 5-minute video, a blog post. I'm going to do a conversational podcast interview, right? All of these different things. And I'm going to have it back to you in 5 minutes with everything ready to publish. It's absolutely crazy. This is just such an unfair advantage, and there's not anywhere on the planet, right, that you can do this stuff. And Jay, just if you just want to hit the next slide here, we've got, well, I had more stuff listed out. I guess it got snuck away, right? Because I had way more stuff than this that we've got coming up. But I'll just tell you some of the things that are coming up here as well. On top of this, we've got some new AI video production being built in here. You're going to be able to use your own voices, and also we'll have at some point coming as well, using your own avatar. So you can generate your own custom avatar or even use your own face, right, as the video presenter as well for the videos. All right. That's just a few of the little things that are in the pipeline as well. All right. So Jay, I'll hand it back to you. All right. And if there's any questions, it's a great time to ask now in the chat while you're here, so that you can get access, to whichever package that you want, clear anything up, because it's quite typical that these pre-release packages will sell out. Okay.
Nice. So it's a perfect time to join us, right? On this ride, we're going to be releasing a lot of stuff. So guys, please keep your questions coming in the chat. I'm going to jump into some FAQ here as well, all right, to answer your questions. Okay, so how can AmpCast help grow my business? I think that's pretty obvious, right? If you've got a website, you want to grow traffic, you want to do it fast, there's a really important statement which I'd love for you to, and I'd invite you to remember, okay? Volume negates everything. Give me a 1 in the chat if you heard that, right? Give me a 1. Everyone heard that statement? Okay. Well, here's the thing, right? Volume negates everything when it comes to content creation, but there is a caveat, because that's what used to be the case about 5 years ago. Even as soon as I'd say a year ago, maybe, when Google started clamping down. But now, yes, volume still negates everything, but the caveat is it needs to be quality driven, and it needs to tick certain boxes with the user in mind. That's exactly what AmpCast is doing. We've seen billion-dollar businesses falling from grace who are, content-based businesses, AI content-based businesses, who are falling from grace, and they're losing traffic for fun. $130 million in investment, and guess what? Traffic's down. Why? Because they haven't understood what I just said, right? Volume negates everything, but as long as it's quality driven with the user in mind. So if you're creating content, will the user read it? Is it engaging them? Is it bringing them into the buyer journey? Things like this. All of that you don't even have to worry about, because not only is that box ticked, but so is the volume, right? And that's the huge opportunity that you've got here. And I just want you to understand that that's the power of it, right? So Chris says, Christopher Camp just drove 20,000 in sales following the AmpCast method. Let me bring that up. After following Chris Munt's training every week. This is brand new, right, Chris? This is awesome. So Christopher,
he posted that in the group, I think yesterday.
On the Facebook group. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So guys, if some of you won't have access to it, but I'll read it out for you. So this is in our private Facebook group for AmpCast. But after following Chris Munt's training every week, Chris Munch, obviously, our lovely CEO, Mr. Chris Munch, who you just heard from, and implementing continuous content, after publishing 3 AmpCast, I now have got 3 additional jobs valued at £20,000. Wow. So that's more than $20,000, Chris. You undershot that. I think that AmpCast is a terrific and easy to use, or is terrific and easy to use. You're a great inspiration and genius, Chris Munch. Well done. He is, right? He won't say it himself. He's too humble, but, he actually is.
He just put an update in as well.
Oh, he did?
Already sent that about a couple of hours ago.
So Christopher is just going for it, isn't he? Jesus. One of my AmpCasts was for tankless reverse osmosis systems. Wow. What a niche. That's killer, right? How specific. Another AmpCast was about well water with high levels of iron causing staining. Another great niche. I had 3 jobs for my business since the order value of £20,000. I'm now looking at closing another customer that probably will end up paying £15,000. In one of the Wednesday trainings, I remember Chris saying about staying on target with your content in the industry you're focusing on. When I checked out YouTube channels within my industry, I took some notes how the YouTubers were keeping focus tight in their business. This is what I'm doing with my blog post, which seems to be working for me. So he's following the training and he's leveraging the power of the platform. That's unbelievable. That's all you have to do, right? Because Chris's training is really in depth and he shows you the strategy high level because he's a visionary, right? He knows exactly where this is headed. But yeah, you've got both of those. Like that's awesome. Thank you so much for that, Chris. I appreciate it. So yeah, it's pretty obvious how AmpCast can help your business grow. Do more content, get more exposure, get more traffic, and you'll make more sales, right? You get more authority, and the more campaigns you put out there, the more content you'll create, the more places you'll be in, the more LLMs you'll feed, and on and on it goes, right? How does it help me get more traffic? Well, I think that's pretty obvious too, right? So the more content you're creating, pointing at wherever you're creating the content about, and sending the traffic to, as long as you're covering off the topics. There's lots and lots of training on that. But any niche that you're looking at, just pick a topic, bam, and off you go, right? And we just gave you an example there from Christopher Camp, and he's focused on reverse osmosis or whatever. That's his niche. He'll have a topic, he'll do 8 formats and publish 300 sites. He'll do another topic in that niche, and on, right? All the questions about reverse osmosis, there's going to be tons, yeah? So that's how it works. And then you get more traffic and point it. You can send it to your own business. You can resell this as an agency if you wanted to. You can grow your traffic. You can grow your exposure. You can grow your channels, right? Because again, you're on every single platform, but it's pre-optimized for those platforms. How long does it take to get results? Well, you can actually have a campaign up and running, okay? Because if you jump in now, you'll get your credentials. You can actually launch an AMP within, just today if you wanted to, and have content ready. So the results of that content could be done automatically within the next couple of hours, right? And you hit publish and you'll be, published in the next couple of days in terms of 300 sites. But you'll definitely have the content ready to rock and roll and see the results of that instantly. And then it's just a matter of how much you're doing, how much content you're creating and how frequently. Because I said volume negates everything, with the caveat being as long as it's quality driven, right? And with the user in mind. So as long as you're doing, our platform covers that. So if you did obviously 10 campaigns in a week, not that might be a little bit too much, but at least one a day, then that's enough, right? So yeah, that can get you some super fast results. If I need thousands or hundreds of thousands of posts to succeed, doesn't this get expensive very quickly? That's a good question. And so the idea of this, okay, and this is a really, really important point that I'd want you guys to, and I'd invite you to consider, is the fact that currently you get an amazing deal, right? When you can create unlimited content. Like, please give me a 77 so I know you're actually paying attention. You get unlimited content here, guys. Yeah? Do you understand what that means, right? Just because some of you will understand, you've been paying attention. Some of you might have missed it, but I don't, because I hate that after presentation. Sometimes I'm like, oh shit, I did mention that, but I don't want you to miss this. You can technically get the pack of 36, right? And still have 36 campaigns at the end of, next month if you wanted to, and have unlimited content, right? You could have a blog post a day, a podcast a day, an article a day, a video a day. But it's only when you hit publish does it actually get distributed, right? And you lose one of the credits. Does that make sense? So, it's just crazy. You can create unlimited videos, content, download it, it generates it for you and you're good to go, right? So it's just unbelievable. So yeah, it's something which you should definitely capitalize on, right? So you can use AmpCast to create hundreds of blog posts, hundreds of videos, and then to promote the videos and and the blogs and the articles and the infographics. That's when you hit publish and get, which you're going to have to do at some point to get the actual traction, right? But if you've got a channel, you can grow your channel for free, technically, right? And we don't win with that, by the way. We lose money on that, just to be super clear. But I'm telling you that because we want more of you to come in, experience the platform, and we want our users to go up, just like every software company out there that's been successful does. You become a founding backer, you join the Kickstarter program, our usership goes up, which means our refinement goes through the roof, right? And our time to market cuts down in terms of going public. So how is this different to AmpiFire? It's very different to AmpiFire in that ultimately the videos that used to be standard, they're now informational and long form. There's reels and shorts we didn't used to have before. And reels and shorts are amazing. Short, sharp videos that Chris showed you, where you can just be creating tons and tons of these, right? Highly engaging for viral growth. You've got the podcast. We used to have tiny short audio ads. Now we have full blown, almost feature length interview style with realistic voices. We used to have just blog posts, which were standard. Now we've got rich, long form with rich media, right? So it's beautiful. This can post to LinkedIn. Lovely, rich blog post, which you can, and it's baked in with all the rules of writing the best blog post you can, which brings users in, right? And it's got the user remind. It gives them key takeaways. It's just beautiful. The way it's laid out and optimized is how Chris has been writing blogs for over 12 years, which are built to convert, written to convert, which is a key thing, right? The amount of blogs we've seen out there that are just trash is just ridiculous, because no one thinks about who's going to, actually type that topic in. Does it answer the question, and how well are you taking care of the user so you can increase your conversions, right? And bring them into the buyer journey. It's all taken care of for you, right? Within the platform. News articles that used to be standard, we now have deep niche knowledge and authority. We've never had LinkedIn before, but now we do with a short blog style posts as well. You've got Twitter X threads. We never had that. Now we do with extended conversational threads, right? Like we showed you. Infographics and slide decks and ebooks used to be standard. Now they're way more beautiful, way more engaging. And you can check that out in the platform itself. And finally, for distribution, we have all the same other than the social media platforms, which is huge. That was a massive thing people were calling out for. And now with just one click, bam, you hook up your socials and it goes straight and posts pre-optimized for each channel. So pre-optimized for TikTok, pre-optimized for Instagram, pre-optimized for shorts and reels. It's all done and taken care of for you, right? Which is super crazy. So how much can I resell AmpCast campaigns for? Well, we've got people that started out like Ryland here at $500 a month. This is with the early beta version, right? Way less powerful than what you've got today. But even then, we'd start out by telling people, hey, $500 a month is a good place to start. As you get more confidence and you begin, figuring out how to position it better. We've got extensive training on this, by the way, how to resell. We've got a high-level agency, group as well, which I'm taking after this session, actually. They pay us a lot of money every year, but they're, high level agency coaching where we teach them how to position AmpCast properly to get 5, 10, 15 grand deals, presented and potentially closed as well. So so there's a lot of stuff that we've got a lot of resources on the agency side if you're interested in that. But then people tend to get a bit more experience, a bit more training under the belt. And then they take it from 500 a month up to 1,300 or 1,000 or more a month, as you can see here. Brent charging 1,000. Shiv speaks English as a second language, lives in India, does business in the States by closing businesses out there, by just reselling the power of what we're doing, right? Cam, he was charging $500 a month for in his first 3 sales, and then his confidence went up, and he just, for the same thing, 1 campaign a month, he's charging $1,300 a month now. So, super powerful. Denka charges, he has a lot more sort of experience, but he's charging $21,000 up front and $10,500 per month. Huge business. So if you target bigger businesses, you can charge more money because the value is obvious. And can I do this for my business or any other business? Yes, you certainly can, and you should, right? Should be obvious. You can do this for any business. Anyone who wants traffic. It's like, I always joke, but it's like YouTube, right? Or Facebook ads. It's like, can you do Facebook ads for this business? You can do Facebook ads for any business. Right? You just have the business and you do the ads on it, or you can post a YouTube video on any business in the world. It doesn't matter what they are, it's just a platform. Same with us, right? How many AmpCast campaigns do I need? So it all depends on how fast you want to grow. If you've got the means, then I would go for the 36 just because you're going to save the cash. If you walk into a store and let's say I love sparkling water, let's say, right? And let's say me and my wife go to Costco tomorrow. Like she likes to go to Costco. So let's say we go on the weekends. And there's 2 massive crates of sparkling water at half the price. Why wouldn't I buy that, right? If I drink sparkling water, I'm going to make use of it. I'll buy it and I keep it in the garage, right? And then I come back a month later and something else is on offer and the sparkling water's gone back to full price. It's kind of like that. So, you should definitely, if you have the means, take advantage to get the most, or most of the campaigns you can for the best rate. But most importantly, the more campaigns you do for your business or any other business you might be, doing this for, whether it's 1 a day or whatever it might be, the more you do, the more volume. As I said, volume negates everything, provided you've got the user, first. You'll grow your traffic faster, right? If you're not happy for whatever reason, you've got 60 days to use all your AmpCast campaigns, but also to follow the trading. And if you don't grow your organic reach and traffic, then we'll just refund you, okay? Does this work for non-US businesses? 100%. We've got people like Jamie. She lives in the UK. She's using the US distribution to grow her business. And this happens, we work with US, of course, Canada, And then places that speak English as a language of commerce, like Ireland, like Mumbai, even in India, all the way to Singapore, for instance, places like that. UAE, absolutely, So Australia, obviously, New Zealand, I think I mentioned already, but yeah. So you've got that. Does AmpCast call for any discount? I'm not even going to entertain this question. This is a really, really, really disgusting discount, right? And I say disgusting in a positive way. It's like, wow, this is on our side because, it's we're cutting it fine, but we're happy to invest. Just like any software company does, a lot of software companies will run on a loss, right? Like the HubSpots, the Vendastas, and they don't care because they want the usership to go up, right? The reason we want it to go up is very simple, because we want to get people in, we want to show them the product and refine what we're doing so we can actually go public properly, right? So we're happy to cut, to run this almost very close to a loss at break even, so that we can bring you guys in and get the usership up, get everything refined, iron out any kinks, making sure the development's top class, so that we can roll this out faster. So that's why we're letting you in at this discount, at this price, so we can drip feed the last few features we have in return for your feedback, right? And you using the product and getting a lot of content out there and sharing that content with us. Your AmpCast campaigns last for 2 years. And if you're not planning to use them in 2 years, I wouldn't invest for obvious reasons, right? It's definitely not going to be a fit for you if you're not planning to use this within 2 years. I mean, I'd expect you guys to, use 36 campaigns in the next 6 months minimum, maybe 3 months, depending on who you're using this for and things like that. And just bear in mind, like 36, let's say I've got, 3 clients, you're looking at 12 campaigns for each client, right? And that's if you did 1 a month. But if you're doing 1 a week, that's 4. So yeah, you're looking at, getting through it quite quickly. What does Founders Special Early Access mean? I think I've explained that. Everyone gets it? Give me a 1. Everyone understand why we're doing this, and how and why it's so inexpensive in terms of you guys being able to get in at this price. Like, give me a 1 if that's being explained properly. Just want to make sure, and also get some feedback to make sure we're communicating as well as we can with you guys and answering questions, right? So give me a 1 if it makes sense, right? You guys understand what the Founders Special Early Access means, why it's limited, right? Just give me a 1 in the chat. Everyone understand that? That makes sense? We've still got a few people on the call. So I'd invite you to just give me a 1 in the chat if that's cool. I've got 50 of the most antisocial people, it looks like, on the call, right? Everyone's like, no. Oh, here we go. Michael, yes. Now we're talking. Just kidding. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. So anyone else, just give me a 1 in the chat. Brian as well. Okay, excellent. So that means you're going to form as part of our founders backers or founding backers. And in return, you get in faster, you get in earlier behind the scenes, you skip the wait list, and we can give you access. So you can give this a whirl and you can give us feedback, right? So we can, drip feed the last few features into next year, which you'll get as and when we post them. We've got lots of features already out there. And that's why we can cut the price down. We're kind of working together on that front. A lot of software companies do it like this. So just click on the link at the top. Once you've done that, you can secure your founding backer special, if this is for you, and if not, that's totally cool. After payment, you'll be redirected to a confirmation page. You'll receive your login credentials via email, so you can get started as soon as possible. So I'd invite you guys to let me know what you thought of the session. Let me know what you think of the platform. All right, love to hear your feedback on that. And also, any last questions you might have, please put that in the chat, and I will be wrapping up in the next couple of minutes. So if there's any final questions, guys, anything you want to share with us, please do. We're always happy to take feedback for these sessions, right? Even though we've been doing this for years, but we're always looking to improve. So if there's anything we might have missed out upon, please let us know. All right. But thank you so much to everybody. It's obvious you guys are serious about growing your businesses. You're serious about the future. You're serious about being long-term thinkers as well, which I love. And you can see an opportunity when it's right in front of you. This isn't like one of those weird, trading you to start a business or whatever. No, this is a platform in its own right, which is going to feed any business out there, right? Which is a beautiful thing here. And you've got access to it here today at a crazy price. So, feel free to jump in on that if it's for you. And if not, like I said, hopefully, which is also important to us, you took something away, and you will ride this multicasting wave in any which way you can, right? whether that's with us, whether that's on your own. All right. So with that said, I'll invite any final questions here if you want to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping this up very, very shortly. So any final words, questions, concerns, insights, please just drop them in the chat and we'll be wrapping up in the next minute or so. All right. So I think that's it. I think that might be it for questions. So Doug says, Jay, can you clarify what you said about the number of topics that can be used? Number of topics, it's infinite, right? Topics are, the beautiful thing about topics is that there are more topics than you realize. And we've got a topics generator tool and you can generate thousands of them using that, right? But as an example, just really quickly, I've got this to hand. A sports bottle, it's not the best niche because, these don't cost that much, right? But if someone was looking for a sports bottle, just on the top of my head, right? Just off the top of my head, which was BPA free, doesn't leach chemicals into your water, right? And it's got a, push, I don't know what you call these lids, whatever. But people will search for this stuff, right? Because that's what they want. Their question is based on, BPA free drinking, or BPA free, and also the storage. That's important, right? That's massive. So 1 liter, BPA free, chemical leach free, sports bottle. There you go. That's a question in the form of a topic, right? But the topic covers that question. And so the topic becomes answering questions in detail, which is what the AmpCast platform will do on that one question. Does that make sense? So I think that's it, Chris. I think we're good. Is there anything else we wanted to cover? I think the link is here, guys.
We'll wrap it up here. If you do have further questions, you can drop us an email, support@ampifire.com. The link is up on screen. Bear in mind, on that page, you'll see that there's a limited number of spots for each of the options. You've got higher priced options if you want to grab, as many campaigns as possible. There's lower priced options on there as well. Just the lowest priced option is just well worth it just to get access into the platform, to have this unfair advantage, to be able to create all of this content. So it's well worth it just to get the unlimited content distribution content creation that you get with this. So grab this now during the pre-release. All right. We have live sessions every Wednesday that you can join where I go through specific strategies, how to grow your traffic, all of that stuff. So I'll see you there every Wednesday. We also have all the replays in the members area. All right. But looking forward to everyone who's jumped in and joined us. All right. So thank you very much. And I'll see you on the inside, ready to create a ton of content. All right. Thank you very much and see you soon.